everyone, so in my live stream I made this card. Now this is a diamond hammock gatefold card, 5x7, and I saw this on Inky Inspirations YouTube channel, so please go and check her out. The link will be in the description below for her video. Please go and check her out, give her lots of love, subscribe to her channel, etc. She comes up with some amazing cards. This is not the first one that I've cased from hers, but yeah, so we made this in the live. So the papers that I've used are from my own. They are the Yuletide Wishes kit. So it comes as a 8.5 by 8.5 and an A4 paper pad. You can get these on Amazon. You can also get it, if you prefer digital kit, you can get it as a digital kit over in my Ko-fi shop. So they're both available. So yeah, go and check those out. And then the stickers that I used here, these are actually stickers. These are beautiful flowers. I don't know if you can really see them so as well as you could, should be able to, but they're beautiful. And these are from Journal Say. And I've actually just done an order with Journal Say. So I've got a promotion code. If you use my code ICEDImages, that will get you 8% off your order, and also helps me out as well, obviously. But yeah, beautiful. So this card, you just slide off the belly band, and I don't normally like belly bands, but we kind of had to for this card. Hopefully you can see those a bit better. And then when you open it up, you have this beautiful diamond hammock. You see how it moves in the middle, and it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Really love this card. So we're going to make this again today. Obviously this is the tutorial for those of you who don't like live streams. So we're going to make this today, and I'm going to be using my my papers, which are Dragonfly Dreams. Again, this is available on Amazon, and it's also available as a digital kit over in my Ko-fi shop. And it's also available as a digital kit at time of recording. It's available as a digital kit on DRK Crafts as well. So yeah, go and get those. I think it might also be available on Etsy. I can't remember if it's still available on Etsy, but it was. But anyway, all the links will be in the description below. I'm also hopefully going to be using some more of my Journal Say products, and I'm going to be using these beautiful, you'll see, I'm not going to show you now, you'll see them in the video. Beautiful, beautiful, and they're stickers. I don't do stickers normally, but these are something else. So anyway, without any more further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so for this card, you're going to need 2 pieces of card that are 2.5 by 7. These don't need scoring, so I'll put those to one side. Then you're going to need, let's start with the big one. You're going to need 1 piece of 7 by 11, and on this you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 3 inches, at 8 inches, and at 10.5 inches. Okay, so that's all the scoring done for that. You can't see very well because it's obviously pale, but yeah, not that, you'll see in a minute when I come to fold it. Then you need 1 piece that is 4 by 9, and on this you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, at 2.5. You're going to make a little mark top and bottom at 4.5. You're not actually going to score it, just going to make a little mark top and bottom at 4.5, and then you're going to score full at 6.5 and at 8.5. Okay, and then what we're going to do is when we've done that little mark, that 4.5 mark, you're going to score from there to the top of your 10.5 mark, and then you're going to turn it and you're going to do the same again, so from that bottom mark to the top of the other. If you can hear noises in the background, it's because somebody's doing some kind of gardening, chopping things down or something outside. Hopefully it won't come up on the video, but just in case. And then we're going to go from that top mark down to the bottom of the tab, and from the top mark down to the bottom of that tab. So you should end up with that now. You can't see them very well on here, but you'll see them, sort of see them like that. You'll see them when I start to fold them. So that's that piece done. Okay, so next up you need 2 pieces. Now originally Inky Inspiration did it as 4 by 4.5, and that's what I did on my live stream. But since then I thought, you know what, let me try something a bit different. So I'm going to go with 2 that are 4 by 4. This might not work, but hopefully it will. And on the 4 by 4s you're just going to score them halfway at 2 inches. Okay, ignore, I've got a little score line across here. Ignore that, that's where I went wrong. So that's all the scoring done. Okay, so starting with the two we just did, we're just going to fold those in half like that. Little note as well, I think the card that I'm using is probably a little bit too thick. I would say anything between a 200 and a 240 GSM is probably the maximum that you want to go with. Anyway, so there we go, we've got those two folded in half like that. And then let's do the big one. The big one we are going to fold in the front section like this. So you're going to fold them in as if you're doing like a gatefold. So both of those middle score lines go in. And then these little tabs go out. So you've got mountain, valley, valley, mountain. So you should end up with that, hopefully. Okay, so last but not least, you've got this piece. So the two tabs at the end need to be mountains. So that tab there and that tab there. Then the next two uprights need to be valleys. And then all of your diagonals need to be mountains. So you should end up with that. So now you can really see all of the fold lines. Okay, and then what we want to do is push these two in, fold it down, give it a burnish. Do the same on this side, push those two in, fold it down, give it a burnish. You should end up with that, hopefully. Okay, so next up what we want to do, in actual fact I've just realised this does need to be a valley. So all of your uprights need to be valleys. I thought I got it wrong, but I hadn't. So that's like that. So now we're going to go ahead and add a bit of glue, wet glue, you can use red tape if you want to, onto this tab here. And then we're going to take one of our squares and we're going to stick that onto there like that, making sure it's nice and into that crease, but I would fold it over on it when you stick it down just to make sure that it will, because it needs to fold like this in the card. So that's that side done, and we're going to do the same on this side. I'm going to turn it round because it's easier to do it on the right hand side. So you should end up with that. Okay, so we're going to put that to one side for now, because next up we just want to really go ahead and start decorating this before we do anything else. Okay, so in total you're going to need two pieces of mat that are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, one piece of pattern that's 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and then one piece of white that's 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. So this will stick onto there, and this will go on the back here, and then this will go on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. I'm not going to stick the white on yet because I don't know what I want for my greeting, so I'm going to leave that off and I'll put that on later, but I'm going to put the mat on. Okay, so you should have that. Obviously that'll have a white bit on the back, and then you need 4 pieces in total that of mat that are 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, and 4 pieces of pattern that are 2 by 6 1/2. And we're going to use 2 of them for now. The other 2 we'll use in a minute. So these 2 are going to go just on the inside here. Okay, so you should end up with that. So we're going to put this to one side for the moment, and then we're going to bring in those other 2 base panels that we had that were 2 1/2 by 7, and the remainder of the 2 2 1/4 by 6 3/4 mats. So they're going to go on top like that. Okay, now these are quite plain, so the other thing I wanted to do was to add some interest. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I've got these which came from Journal Say. I'll put the discount code on the screen for you. Yeah, these are beautiful. These are clear stickers, and I don't normally use stickers, but these are something entirely different to what I've ever seen ever, and I just thought these would be really nice. Can we just check these out? Oh my days. These would be really nice on the front, like layered up like this to kind of, and then obviously just trim off the excess. But look how beautiful that looks. Oh my goodness. So I have selected a few already, although I quite like the look of that selection there. Just look at these. Look how beautiful these are. Anyway, hopefully you've seen my craft tool video for Journal Say, where I actually show you these in detail. But these are they're just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead now and just work out what I want on here. And I think I might, that's the same as that one. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Got so many nice ones. They're just so beautiful. So I think maybe something like that looks good, and then I'll just have to trim off the edge any excess, you know, any ones that pop over the edge. So you can basically make your own pattern papers, because this is quite a plain paper. But obviously with these in, it makes it a bit prettier and a bit more interesting. That's the same as that one, so we don't really want the same again. I want to have different either side. How about that? I feel like there's yellow here and there's purple there, so let's maybe switch these round, see what we think. Okay, I quite like that, I think. Okay, so I'd actually filmed me sticking these down, sticking them on, but for some reason my camera encountered an error and it hasn't saved them. So that's happy days. So anyway, I've gone ahead and stuck these down like that. So I've just stuck them on and just trimmed the edges, and I really like the look of them. I think they've come out really nicely. So we're going to go ahead now. I'm going to put these to one side, because we don't need these right now, and we're going to bring this back in. So on this, you are going to need, in total, 4 pieces of mat that are 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, and these are going to go on here, like that. And then you're also going to need, and on that you've got 4 pieces of pattern paper that are 1.5 by 3.5, and then you've got 1 piece of mat that is 2.5 by 2.5, and 1 piece of pattern that's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick those down. Okay, so you should end up with that, hopefully. So now we're going to need to bring our card back in again. And what we're going to do is down the actual tab that we have there, we're just going to make a little mark at 1.5 and at 5.5. So 1.5 and 5.5. And we're going to do the same on the other tab on the other side. Okay, so if you're going to do it, so the reason why I'm putting these marks is just so I can register, but you know, to know where this goes. So in the original, these had 1/2 inch tabs on. So what would happen now, if you were doing the original, is this would go on, and that 1/2 inch tab that's dangling here would stick onto this tab here. However, I found that if you've got a thicker card, it makes it a bit bulky. So what I've done is I've actually made the mark right by the score line there and here, so you can see it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on the back of here, or red tape, either is fine. So glue, if you're going to do any decoration on the back, do that now before you stick this down. And we're actually going to stick this whole panel down. Now this is the first time I have done it exactly this way. I'm hoping it will work, but we will see. So this is going to go, and it's going to register up with those little marks like that. And we're going to stick it on like that, right up to that score line, but not over it. And just make sure that this, when you lie it out flat, lines up with your other marks that you've done on the other side. Okay, so just stick that down there. And you want to make sure that's definitely dry before you carry on with the next bit. Okay, so once that's dry, what you want to do is, I think the best way, I mean, you could just go ahead and just stick that straight on. So obviously line this up against this edge here, and obviously against those registration marks, and stick that down. But I think what I'm going to do, because it's going to fold flat, I'm going to fold this in like this. So fold that side that we've got down like that, and then fold that over. I'm going to put some glue on here, and then fold that side flap onto it. And I think because at least then you know it's definitely going to fold down flat. It's not going to give you any problems as far as folding flat is concerned. So we're going to go ahead, put that on like that, and then I'm going to fold this down like that and just stick that down. And I'm hoping I'm going to have a quick peek and see if that works. If I open this up, yeah, it is all in line pretty much. Oh, I've just opened it, so it's, let me just put it back and down again. Yeah, so I'm going to hold that flat like that and just let that dry, but then that should hopefully then stick in the right place. Okay, so once that's dried, when you open it up, you should have your little hammocky bit. Now obviously it's only going to hammock at the back, it's not going to hammock at the sides, which is what it did originally, but I don't mind that, that's okay. Kind of pops forward a little bit more as well. I don't know if it's just because it's thicker card. So then we just need to go ahead and add these pieces. So obviously that was the pieces we had here. So these are going to go either side, there and there, like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. Okay, so I've decided upon a thank you. So I've made a thank you up, and then I wanted to use some more of these stickers just so you've got the flowers on the sides, but you've also got them in the middle. So what I've done is I've left them on their backing, and then I have stuck some behind here. So I've just literally just put that on, and I've used a bit of I've got this kind of red tape that's got a little, it's a little bit foam tapey, and it's got a tiny bit of dimension but not loads. And then I've taken this one and I've just chopped it off there, and I'm going to have this coming out here like that, so you do get a little bit of flower there, which is fine. And then I'm going to stick that on with some red tape. So what I'm going to do is turn this over. Just going to have a quick look. Okay, there's a line there, so what I'm going to do is grab in fact actually I'm just going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to get a bit of red tape, normal red tape, and we're going to stick this down. Okay, so that's the finished embellishment, and I'm quite pleased with where that turned out. I was going to stick these onto acetate, and then I was like, you know what, I don't need to bother really, because they're already on their little backings, and then that can go in the middle there, which I really like. So I'm going to go ahead now and just add a bit of this red foam tape on the back, just in the areas that you can't see, and then we can go ahead and stick that into the middle of our card. Right, so once again my camera's let me down, so I decided not to do a belly band. I've done one of sorts, but I've done with ribbon. I did actually record me making this knot, but obviously it hasn't filmed it. Never mind, you've got it finished. So that just slides off, or they can just open it. So yeah, so that is the card for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to go and check out Inky Inspiration, her YouTube channel. Check out Claire, go and subscribe to her. She's wonderful, she's got some fantastic ideas. So yeah, go and check her out, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!